10 billion. When you see this number the first time, you might be wondering what it stands for. This number is bigger than the world population or more than the monthly incomes of all citizens in Vancouver combined. However, 10 billion USD is the market value of a Chinese tea drink brand, Hey Tea. Every day in a total of 18 cities and nearly 700 Hey Tea stores, tea lovers are willing to line up for an hour just for a cup of bubble tea. The popularity of tea drink brands is self-evident, and the reason behind this is imaginable. The story of tea can date back to ancient China, almost 5,000 years ago. Nowadays, tea culture plays a different role by mixing with ingredients from Western culture, including chocolate and various fruit that weren't native to Asia. The position of tea has shifted from cultural inheritance to a brand new presentation. It has become a type of daily drink that is being consumed regularly, both on casual and formal occasions in modern China. So, if the Capstone Project is supposed to be established based on my passion, which means I have to combine tea drinks, marketing, and design, I eventually came up with my topic. I want to create my own virtual bubble tea brand, which I will be in charge of its logo design, interior design, and web design. After the research, I realized that it is easiest to build my brand starting with the general concept. So I had this list in mind that has all the elements I wanted for my bubble tea shop. I wanted to be an ideal workplace and a place that is suitable for friends gathering. In addition to that, I believe some memorable features and efficiency are also significant to create a successful tea brand. According to an investigation, the researchers combined satellite image of the greenery in 13 urban cities between 2001 and 2019 and found that about 3/4 of the city were less green in 2019 than they had been 20 years earlier. Therefore, I decided to include greenery as one of the key features of my brand. I wanted to create an urban garden where people can relax and appreciate a cup of tea, isolating from their inner anxiety. From the perspective of environmental protection and demands for a memorable feature, I also chose the image of a bear as one of the key elements. After I had the general concept, a name and slogan are required, and they need to be short, memorable, and include the key features of the brand. I chose to get my inspirations from research and my peers' advice. Eventually, I came up with the name Bubble Bear Tea, shortened as BBT, and a slogan that claims we only offer what nature gives. Now that I have the general concept, name, and slogan, I move on to the logo design. Let's brainstorm what is needed for a logo. It needs to make a memorable first impression and convey the brand's value. It also needs to be simple and flexible so it works well in different sizes and is easy to reproduce. Indeed, the first version of my logo did fulfill most of my expectation. It has all the elements I was looking for: the bear, the greenery, and the bubble tea. I was so satisfied with the logo that I even used Photoshop to visualize how it will look like on byproducts, such as mugs and takeout bags. However, I quickly realized the problem of this version. Number one, most popular brands nowadays prefer simple logos, whereas mine is relatively more realistic. Then, I came up with my second version by modifying the previous one, simplifying the entire logo and outlining an element with only one line. Compared with the previous version, my second version is more memorable and still includes all the key features of my bubble tea brand. Okay, now we move on to interior design, which I barely know anything about. As usual, I start with research, searching for images online that are close to the style I was looking for. I kept all the key features in mind while researching: greenery, an ideal workplace, and a place that is suitable for friends gatherings. After that, I started my draft. It was drawn on paper using a pencil, and I didn't even use a ruler for some of the lines, not to mention the measurements for each piece of furniture. Although I quickly realized afterwards that interior design is nothing like drawing, where I can just doodling for fun, and this version is not practical at all. It records the general house type and the layouts I wanted. Based on the first draft, I used an online application to make a digital floor plan. This step is very time-consuming since I am a newcomer to interior design, and I have to go back and forth from the tutorial videos to the app. It takes a while, but this is my second version. I know what you are going to say. Too many colors, and why are the toilets so small? Indeed, when I first take measurements into my consideration, I realized there are countless factors to think about, and not being practical or feasible seems to be a norm. In the following week, after the failure of my second version, I did nothing but research and consult my former art teacher, who is now an interior designer. I took advice from both the internet and the professionals, and eventually came up with my final version at the end of the week. There are various details that I want to share with you, but I'm going to focus on the color first. I chose light green, dark green, brown, and beige as my main color combination because they all are colors from our Mother Earth and thus fulfill the theme of my bubble tea shop. In addition, a house type with 2 floors is being used. I know that in reality you can't just own a house with 2 floors out of nothing, but this is my virtual tea brand, so everything is being built based on imagination. A thing that I want to elaborate on is solutions for possible crowded places. To begin with, I put a lot of stools in the shop where people are sitting individually. Theoretically, people who are sitting on this type of chair will leave earlier, since they are less comfortable compared with sitting on other setups. If people are leaving sooner, there will be more seats available when the next group of customers arrived. Moreover, I also designed to have a takeout window so that people who are just here to pick up online orders don't have to go inside and the shop will be less crowded. I also noticed that a lot of tea shops do not have personal space, whereas acquired personal space is vital for an ideal workplace. Therefore, I use plants to separate each table, making sure that visually the room is not crowded. Moreover, greenery is also one of the themes, so the addition of these plants also highlights this key feature. Furthermore, as I mentioned earlier, a quiet workplace is important, so how can I deal with all the noises? I deliberately placed the restroom on the first floor. Otherwise, it will be very loud when water runs through if the restroom is on the second floor. Now I feel like the shape of my tea brand is more clear. Last but not least is the design of my official website. For website design, I'm going to change the way of narrating. Since it is the last piece of my product, I want to combine everything I made in the past few months and introduce you to my tea brand with pride. Bubble Bear Tea. We only offer what nature gives. China is widely known as the hometown of tea, with a tea history of around 5,000 years. However, young people rarely take the time to sit down and appreciate a cup of tea. Bubble Bear Tea wants to create a piece of greenery in the middle of the city where people can relax and drink tea. Only natural ingredients are being used in our products. Click here to see the menu or order online. There are 9 types of black sugar bubble tea and 9 types of fruit tea, as well as 6 types of topping and 6 types of desserts. In addition to drinks and food, Bubble Bear Tea accepts private events reservation where people can celebrate their wedding day, birthday, and anniversary. Moreover, every month, there is one day where we will open up the kitchen for people to learn how to make their own bubble tea. Please check our monthly agenda for more information and reservations. Last but not least, every BBT store has a pickup or takeout window that is available during opening hours. Please place your order on our menu page and pick it up later, or place your order on takeout software and let us make sure your drinks are safely delivered to you. If you have any concerns or complaints, please feel free to contact us via email or message us on our official website. At the end of my capstone presentation, I want to do a brief summary of these few months. At the beginning of February, I started with an idea, an incomplete idea, thinking about and asking about what should I do in order to establish my own tea brand, researching, designing, and struggling with the process. Luckily, I am quite satisfied with the final products and believe this opportunity helps me to gain a relatively more comprehensive understanding of my possible future career as a designer. That's all for my capstone project. Thanks for listening.